Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to New York Islanders franchise mode here in NHL 25. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we made a small pickup basically to help with our goal scoring, and it was a veteran that I didn't know how he would necessarily fit on this team, but he was a career-long Washington Capital, so we decided to give him a chance and bring him into our team to see if he could go on a good run, and I think so far he's fit this team quite well, which is really good to see, because obviously being 39 years old for Harris, you don't think he would do too much, but he actually did really well. He had 26 goals in 42 games with Washington, but then when he joined us, he became more of a hybrid production player, picking up 37 points in 41 games. So I think he was pretty much just as good of a deadline pickup as we had last year when we brought in Lockhart from the Blue Jackets. So hoping Harris could have a good run for us here in the postseason. He doesn't have a lot of playoff experience because the Capitals haven't been good so far, so I'm hoping that maybe we could give him a chance to win that Stanley Cup this year, considering this is probably one of the last years of his career, and obviously there's a lot of other old guys on this team, like Crane is dropping off as well, Makinen's dropping off, Houghton's dropping off, so might as well give a veteran like Harris a chance with a team that's also got a lot of old guys who want to win that Stanley Cup. So hopefully this is the year. Hopefully we obviously get past this first round, because obviously if we get out earlier than the conference finals, it will be disappointing. So hopefully we could just get on another good run and continue to play like we've been playing as of late, because you can see we finished off the season as a top 10 offensive team, so we have good depth scoring. We don't really have a standout player picking up a ton of points. We are the best defensive team in the NHL. Power play percentage probably could still use some work, but I'm hoping it figures itself out in the playoffs. And then you can see our penalty kill was third in the league as well. So some pretty good stats all around. Hopefully our team can put it together, but we are going to be likely facing this cheese team in Montreal based on the record, 40, 34, and 8. And they don't have the craziest roster, but I do feel like we could get cheese possibly. Obviously, we could also beat the crap out of them too, but we've had some bad luck in the past with Montreal, and they do have some decent players on there still, like Jakob Leeson, who we used to play with us. There is still Eli Anthony, who's been here for quite a long time, but you could definitely see their depth is not really existent on that forward side of things. Their defensive core is okay, but obviously they only have an 88 overall and an 81. Everybody else is a 78 or 79 or 77, so pretty low end there. Their goaltending is probably one of the more better areas. They have an 84 and an 82, but obviously it doesn't really matter too much if their defense isn't playing good in front of them. So I'm really hoping that we have an easy chance to beat them and find ourselves into that second round, and hopefully beyond that as well. But with that said, let's get in your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll make sure we're ready to go for game one. And like I said, hopefully this is a good run for our team. So the first comment is from Sound Taco. It says, let's hope we could give Harris a Ray Bork moment. And yeah, I hope so too. It would be kind of nice to get that guy a Stanley Cup. Obviously there's players on our team that deserve it, I would say, just as much as Harris, but it would be nice to kind of give Harris an opportunity here, considering he's not played a lot, like I said, in the playoffs before. Like, he's had a very long career at this point, all with the Washington Capitals. Some really good seasons, some lower end seasons, but he hasn't really been that far in the playoffs. Like, I guess the furthest he's been is technically the second round, probably, unless for some reason the Capitals swept for the first three rounds and then lost in the conference finals, but I don't think that happened. So anyways, yeah, 15 points that 1 year. Every year since then, he's been kind of underperforming in the playoffs, but I think, obviously, with a team that's actually as good at like us, I think he could obviously produce on that level. And he's playing next to Makinen too, so I think the two of those guys should gel quite well together. They did down the stretch, so I'm hoping, obviously, they could do that a little bit in the postseason as well. And the last and final comment is from Dylan Burrows, who says, Harris was the high cap hit player, haha, and, oh, okay, so, because he was referring to high cap hit player, but he didn't say the name, so I was not too sure if he meant somebody else, but I'm glad that at least it was Harris, because I think Harris was, like, the perfect option to bring in, so I'm glad that we all came to the same page, and thought Harris was going to be a decent fit here. Like, we didn't necessarily need to make an upgrade this season, but I think bringing in another vet, somebody that's got a proven track record, would be good for this team, so that's why we brought him in. But with that said, I think we're ready to go. I just want to double check our lines, make sure we have it the way we want. Obviously, the one thing I think that could come back to bite us is the fact that we were the best defensive team, because we do have a young goaltending combination of Irwin and Bergenheim. Both these guys were really good during the season. Irwin's only got 2 years under his NHL belt. Bergenheim was a rookie, yet he had a very good season. So Obviously, the inexperience in net could play a factor, but I'm hoping that the veteran presence on defense, the veteran presence on forward side of things, hopefully all those guys could do relatively well. So I think that is good to go. So let's hop into the start of the first round. And like I said, hopefully we do not get cheesed. I did smell some cheese in last episode, but it's because I had grilled cheese right before I recorded. So I'm hoping this time around we don't smell any cheese because I haven't had cheese yet at this point in time. So let's get to game number 1, see if we can find a way to win here. And obviously, if we could use this home ice to our advantage, it would be very good going forward. So obviously, I got to find ways to win on the road, though, too. First period, game number 1. And it's 3-0 Montreal. Yeah, now I smell some cheese. It's starting to pick up in my nose a little bit. Like, maybe it was, like, just put on the grill, but now it's actually, like, burning, which is not great. That's not a good first period whatsoever. We got outshot 21-3. Are you serious, man? Oh my god, we could still come back in this game, but I almost feel like this first game's over already. Like like I was just mentioning, the inexperience in net could play a factor, and it definitely did in that first period. I'm not blaming Bergenheim really, because he faced 21 shots on goal in the first period, and we only had 3 of our own. Like, they had as much goals as we had shots, but that's probably one of the worst periods I think I've ever seen in this playoffs from this team, or any playoffs for that matter. Cullen, Agostini, and Sawchuk. Well, if we're going to come back in this game, we got to start in the second period. We got to get at least 1 to 2 goals back in the second period. We can't be giving up any more the rest of this game. But, yeah, I feel really bad for Bergenheim that he had to face that much amount of shots. Like, did we take a lot of penalties in that first period or what? We didn't even take a single penalty, yet they outplayed us by that much. That's absolutely insane. Well, let's see if we could start clawing back, or is Montreal going to blow us up in game 1? Hopefully they don't do this the entire series. Hopefully this is just a one-off game, but not looking too good defensively here early on, despite being the best defensive team during the season. We also did win the President's Trophy for that matter, so there is a potential chance for a curse. Second period. Still 3-0. Shots are 30-16. Goddamn, man. They're out shooting us by almost double. They're up by 3 goals. At least it's only game 1, but being the President's Trophy team and seeing an effort like this from your team, you just never feel safe. You just never do. So this is looking disappointing here early on. Can we get maybe some sort of thing going for at least next game? Like, we don't know if we're going to win this game probably, but if we get some momentum for next game, maybe we could at least start next game better. But let's see what happens. Third period underway. So far, a very disappointing first game. I feel bad for Bergenheim, like I said, though, facing that many shots in the first period. We're still getting badly outshot. They make it 4-0 on the power play, and then they make it 5-0. God damn, man. Yeah, this one, I don't know if I'd be fully putting on Bergenheim, but I honestly might give Irwin the shot next game. In a very terrible effort, they probably get booed off the ice just because Islanders fans could be a little bit ruthless, but we got outshot 38-29, lose 5-0. To a team that literally probably just made it into the playoffs. Meanwhile, we were the President's Trophy winners. That's a very disappointing effort from our boys. And like, we didn't even take that many penalties in that game. We actually had more power plays than they did. Yet we ended up losing by that much. Very, very bad. Let's take a look at the plus minuses here. Only a couple of guys, but even 0. But we did have -3 for Schaefer and Holmstrom, Ragnarsson, Pollock, and Hybert. So kind of a mix of players. And then obviously this pairing of Schaefer and Holmstrom had a very bad first game. Bergenheim, pretty bad stats, but like I said, he faced a shit ton of shots in the first period. I wouldn't fully put that on him, so we are still going to probably give Irwin a game just because maybe Irwin can get a response, but that's a bad first game. Very bad first game. How was the face-offs, out of curiosity? In our favor as well. We won more face-offs. We barely took any penalties compared to them, and we still got completely outplayed and outscored badly. Yikes. Well, let's hope that that was just a one-off game, because if we continue to play like this, we're going to be a quick exit, and then we're going to end up losing a lot of players potentially to retirement, which would absolutely be dreadful. So let's go to edit lines here. We're not going to edit our 5-on-5 lines, I think, yet. Unless, actually, let's make a defensive adjustment, just because this top pairing wasn't very good. We will go to Smith and Schaefer. Holmstrom could play next to Carlton. And then for goaltending, Bergenheim's going to come out after that first game. Both of them are listed as backup goaltenders. Irwin does have playoff experience from last year a little bit, and he was pretty good in it, so I am going to give him one game, and that way we could kind of see who's actually simulating good in the playoffs. And from the rest of the standpoint, I think the rest of this will stay the same for the time being. Maybe I'll move Pollock up because he was really good last year's playoffs. We'll put House down. I don't think that's a huge issue, so let's make a small little adjustment to the bottom six just to try and get things going again. And obviously, hopefully, we play better defensively in this game and find ways to actually score some goals, because that first game is basically a complete disaster. No, not the best goaltending. Like I said, I'm not going to blame Bergenheim. Terrible defensive play, and then obviously a lot of no goals for. Our offense was terrible, so we got to be complete 180 in this game, or 360. Actually, 360 would put us back to the same point, so 180 in this game. We got to flip the script. Let's get to game 2 and at least tie the series up before we head to Montreal. Can we find a way to tie the series up and play a better first period in this game? First period. 2-0 us. That's a much, much better start. And Harris opens the scoring. I like to see that. Ekblad scores as well. That's Ekblad's first career playoff goal. And it's good to see Harris on the board in his second playoff game with us. So shots are still pretty low, 10-6, but we are up by a pair of goals. So definitely, like I said, a much better response from last game. Last game, we would have already been down 3-0 and chasing the game. So I like this start a lot. Hopefully, we can maintain it going forward. Second period. 4-1 us. Okay, this is kind of a complete 180 of a game. Ragnarsson made it 3-0. Agostini made it 3-1. Holmstrom then gets us on the board to make it 4-1. So we are up by 3 goals going into the third, just like they were last game. But obviously, they do have a goal scored. Shots are 27-13 in favor of us. Let's just make sure that they don't crawl back into this game. Third period underway. But yeah, definitely a much better performance here from this team, which hopefully we can continue that going forward. Addison makes it a 4-2 game. Don't really like that, but there is still time to play good defensively the rest of this period if possible. Power play for us. We do not score. Final 5 minutes, still up by a pair of goals. Can we lock this one down? The answer is yes, we can. We win 4-2 in game 2, so at least we come out with a split series, because obviously if we lost both of our home games, I would be like, damn man, now we need to find a way to win both in Montreal, but that's not that bad, I guess, for game number 2. Final shots 40-26. Definitely much better than the first game. And like I said, hopefully that first game is the only game that was really like that. So Harris from Holmstrom, we had Ekblad from Trotter and Houghton, Ragnarsson from Carlton and Crane, and Holmstrom from Harris and Makinen. So Holmstrom and Harris picked up a couple points in that game. Love to see it. Both of them on 2 points, a couple guys on 1 point, and obviously some decent plus-minus results. Goaltending, Irwin was much better than Bergenheim, so I think we'll start Irwin for game 3. Kind of run with the goaltender that finds us wins. Harris gets first start of the game. Love to see that. Holmstrom second start. Ragnarsson the third. All right, so we have a tie series headed to Montreal. Obviously, we hope that this team can find ways to win on the road as well, because obviously if we lose both these road games, then we're going to be in a bad spot. But if we could find a way to win one or both of them, we're at least still in a good spot. So I'll take the split on home ice, but hopefully we never have a game like game 1, just because that's pretty annoying. Let's get let's get Irwin back in net again. I think it makes sense to go with the hot goaltender. I was gonna say, hey, maybe we could just go back to Bergenheim again, but Bergenheim did face a shit ton of shots in game 1. Like I said, I don't fully blame him, but both these goalies are backups anyways, so we might as well just run with whoever plays good or whoever finds us a win. So we're going to pretty much keep the team the exact same for this game and hope that it could find another straight victory. So with that said, let's get to game number 3 on the road in Montreal. Can we find a way to win on the road as well and maybe give us our first series lead here? It would be nice to win 2 in a row. It would be nice. First period. 2-1 Montreal. Not ideal from Irwin early on, considering we outshot them 15-7. So I'm not really liking the consistency of our team playing right now, but if we still find a way to win, it's not a huge issue. But giving up goals in the first period really sucks, especially when they're 38 seconds apart like these 2 ones were. Sawchuk and Artukin, but Harris gets us on the board, so Harris has been probably our best player so far this postseason. Hopefully guys like Karain and all that can start to wake up a little bit, because they haven't been that good so far in the early going. Like I said, we were out shooting 15-7. We're only down by a goal, so it's still anybody's game. Can we find a way to tie this game up in the second period? 4-2 Montreal. Damn it, they doubled up. We doubled up. Ragnarsson tied the game up early. Anthony and Combs answered back for them. And yeah, this is not looking like a great game for Irwin, so Bergenheim probably will be starting next game. But we're only down by 2 goals, so we could still win this game. But the way it's playing right now, it doesn't look like we're going to find a way to win. Shots are 26-24 in favor of them, so it's still pretty even in the shot department. Let's see if we could find a way to limit their chances and get more chances of our own. Can we crawl back into this game? We need an early goal if we want to crawl back. Third period underway. If we could get one back, we could definitely still tie this one up here. Power play for us. It's a 5-on-3, and we did not score. That's definitely going to probably call it. Maybe not. Harris pulls us within 1. Okay, maybe we got some momentum after that chance. Can we tie this game up for the second time tonight? Power play late. We do not score on it. We still have time, though. Come on, boys, please. Leeson, the former Islander, gets the empty netter. And it was kind of a back-and-forth game all night long. We unfortunately will lose the first one in Montreal, 5-3. So that's the second time we've given up 5 goals in the span of 3 games, which is not ideal. And like I said, Harris has been the only guy showing up really consistently for us in the goal-scoring department. So we're going to probably make some adjustments here after this game, or right now. So Harris from Holmstrom and Dempsey. We had Ragnarsson from Houghton and Ashton. Harris from Holmstrom and Dempsey again. So yeah, Harris and Holmstrom have been the best 2 players right now for our team, because both those guys have had back-to-back 2-point games. Dempsey had 2 points as well, but guys like Crane have not done anything so far, so we are probably going to make some line adjustments here and see if we could find a way to tie the series up. Obviously, we're only down 2-1 in the series, but I'm not too sold on how we've played in these first 3 games for sure. I know we won the President's Trophy, but this team is completely different than they were during the regular season. All right, so Bergenheim will be back in net for game number 4 just because it was not the greatest game from Irwin. Let's go to edit lines here and make some offensive adjustments. Like I said, Harris has been our best player. Ragnarsson, how has he been? 2 goals in 3 games. He hasn't been terrible. I'm going to put him on the left side. Crane is going to go down to the second line. And Harris will play top line with Mäkinen as well, I think. Actually, let's give Ashton a chance to play between them. And then Crane, Mäkinen, and Dempsey will play together. And aside from that, I think the rest of it will stay the same. But we definitely need more goal scoring from our top guys. Defensively, we will probably keep this the same, though. And goaltending, like I said, we'll go back to Bergenheim, even though technically Irwin still has been the better of the 2. So I think that's good. Gives Harris more ice time, and he's been fantastic so far. Crane, like I said, hasn't done enough for me. He does have an assist in 3 games, but he needs goal scoring. That's his main thing. His shooting categories actually have dropped off quite a bit, so I could kind of understand why he hasn't been scoring as much, but I do like to see him score some goals here soon, but I don't think it's a huge issue putting him down to the second line, so I think that is good. Obviously, we need to find a way to win the series, so this next game is pretty crucial because I do not want to fall down 3-1, especially after we won the President's Trophy, because then it doesn't make me feel safe that we're going to find a way to win. So this is a substantial game. We need to find a way to win this one, and if we do, then it becomes a best of 3. So can we find a way to win at least one of these 2 games in Montreal and respond to that last game? Like I said, that last game wasn't terrible, but it was very back and forth. And the way we fell down 4-2 kind of hurt things. Anyways, first period, game 4. 2-1 Montreal. We always get off to bad starts. We did score first in this game, which is nice. Short-handed goal from Lysak, but Ziuk and Anthony answer back. I do not like that we're giving up goals so much in the first period. We need to find ways to make sure that they don't get goals, or else it's going to be hard to come back. Because like we've had to come back in multiple games so far because they've had the lead after 20 minutes. So shots are even 13-13. It is a 1-goal game only. We are still in it, but we need to be much better in the second period. We cannot allow them to score more goals, or else we're going to have to find a way to win 3 straight potentially. Can we have a good second period here to get this game even, or find a way to get that lead? Second period. 5 for us. What the hell? I was not expecting that. Okay, that's a crazy second period. A very crazy second period. Addison made it 3-1 for Montreal, so at that point, not looking too good. Holmstrom scores shorthanded, so that's our second shorthanded goal of the night to make it 3-2. Sawchuk then makes it 4-2. So at that point, pretty similar to last game where we were down 4-2, but in the final 8 minutes of that second period, Holmstrom scores to make it 4-3. Crane gets on the board to make it 4-4, and with 18 seconds left, Ashton gives us the lead going into that third period. So not necessarily the best start to the second period, but definitely a very good last 8 minutes. We do have a 1-goal advantage going into the third. The question is now, is the third period just going to be as chaotic as the second? Shots are 30-23. We are outplaying them, but it's only a 1-goal game. Let's see what happens. Third period underway. Can we find a way to get some insurance? Ziuk ties it up at 5. That's not ideal. We've been definitely giving up too many goals in this playoff run. Addison makes it 6-5 Montreal. God damn it, boys. We had a great second period, and now we're trailing. But we do answer back, and it's Harris again, who's been the most consistent Islander so far. And Ashton gives us the lead, just like he did at the end of the second period. This has been a crazy, crazy game. And that will be the final. I had to make sure the clock ran out first. We do win 7-6 in a shootout of a game. Lucky for us, there is no overtime, because if there was a 7-7 game going to overtime, I think we'd end up losing. But final shots 41-36. An absolutely crazy game, but we do get a win on the road, which makes it a best of 3. So, like I said, I don't really like the way we've been playing defensively, considering that's not our type of style. But I do like that we're scoring some goals, at least maybe a bit more as of late. But we do need to be better in front of our goaltenders, and our goaltenders need to be better too. Anyways, Lysak from Houghton and Smith. Then we had Holmstrom from Ragnarsson and Schaefer. Holmstrom from Kazanov and Trotter. Crane from Schaefer. Ashton from Holmstrom. Harris from Carlton. And Ragnarsson. Jesus Christ, all these goals. And Ashton from Harris. Holy moly. That was probably the most goals I've had to read out in a while. But yeah, Holmstrom's been fantastic the last 3 games. He's got 2 points in the last... he had 4 points in the last 2 going into this game. He's now got 7 points, I think, in the last 3. So he's been fantastic. Glad we locked him up. And then Schaefer on 2 points. Same with Harris, Ragnarsson, Ashton as well. A lot of guys on 1 point. So the depth scoring was definitely on par that game. And from a plus-minus perspective, some guys were minus, but it wasn't too bad. And then goaltending... Yeah, Bergenheim's got to be better too. It's kind of crazy that these young goalies have been that bad, but then again, it kind of makes sense. Like I said, they're very inexperienced in the postseason, so it does make sense that they'll be like that. But that's funny. We don't even get the first star of the game in this one. Addison got first star for Montreal with 5 points. Ziuk second star. Holmstrom got third star, but we do find a victory 7-6 on the road, so... This is definitely one of those series that I feel like might go to 7 games, which is kind of crazy because I don't think we should be going to 7 games with a team like Montreal. But if we do find a way to win the series, maybe our team will find a way to beat any team in its path. Like Montreal is definitely not the greatest team on paper, but they're definitely that type of cheese team that could force you to 7 games and make you a little bit nervous. So I think we'll keep the rest of this the same. I might go back to Irwin, though, to be honest. Bergenheim's been pretty rough in his few games that he's played. Obviously, he does have a win. But I think Irwin has definitely been the better of the 2 guys going forward. So, yeah, 5.5 goals against average to me with 1 win is kind of crazy. So we'll go with the Irwin for this next game again. Kind of flip-flop these 2 goaltenders until one of them continues to play really good. But this is a really weird series so far. I didn't expect it to be this close, really. But at the same time, I did smell the cheese, so I kind of make sense that Montreal would actually win games against us. But like I said, so far, defensively, our only good defensive game really has been Game 2, I would say. So we definitely need to clean it up a little bit. If we find a way to win while we allow more goals than we score, maybe that means we have a chance to go far. Maybe it does. Anyways, we could make some defensive adjustments after a bad defensive game like that, but the only change we're going to make is goaltending-wise. And now that we're back on home ice, hopefully we can win this game and take our first lead of the series. Because right now it's been win-loss, or loss-win, loss-win. Can we be the first team to win 2 games in a row in the series? Let's see what happens as we head to home ice. Let's hope that we can get off to a better start, though, because I do not like being down by goals after the first period at all. First period, Game 5. 1-0 us. That's definitely a solid start defensively. And we do open the scoring. It's Trotter. Shots are 11-6 in favor of Montreal, so that's definitely a better start than in games past. Obviously, a little bit more lower scoring than last game for sure at this point, but let's hope that we could just maintain this game going forward. Maybe get some more insurance, though, because obviously last game they did score a lot of goals against us. They've scored goals against us quite consistently. So if we could find a way to suffocate that offense and start playing our good defensive style we were during the season, maybe we could be unstoppable. Can we find a way to keep this lead intact in the second period? Second period. 2-2. An offensive second period, kind of like last game, but a bit different. Ottereyes tied the game up early in that second. Ragnarsson answers back a minute later, and then they get a late goal from Gostad to tie this game up at 2 after 2. Shots are 24-17 in favor of the Habs. Right now, it's been another kind of back and forth game, just like the series has been, so not too sure what to make of this team right now, but let's see if we could get Irwin to have a good third period, and maybe we could find that offensive game that we did last game. Third period underway. Can we get the lead? Yes, we can. Immediately, it's Holmstrom continuing his point streak at 4 games, and then Ragnarsson scores to make it 4-2. Nice insurance marker. Crane gets a power play goal to make it 5-2. Ashton makes it 6-2. When I said about finding our offense in this period, I didn't necessarily mean for us to score 4 goals, but I'll definitely take it. Definitely makes me not have to worry too much on the goal scoring department. But back-to-back great offensive games. We score 7 goals as Ragnarsson gets another one late, and we win 7-2. And we have won back-to-back games for the first time in this playoff. So that's a much better defensive and goaltending effort, and we actually found our offensive game again, which is really good. So if we could consistently be good offensively like this and also have the goaltending and stuff from the regular season, we're going to be in business. But Trotter from Kazanov, Ragnarsson from Holmstrom and Crane, Holmstrom from Mackinnon, Ragnarsson unassisted. Interesting. Crane from Ragnarsson, Ashton from Ragnarsson, Ragnarsson from Ashton Carlton. So Ragnarsson had 4 consecutive points in that third period, which is kind of insane, but a nice victory, 7-2 over the Habs. 5-point night for Ragnarsson. Crazy. And then Holmstrom with 2 points is great. Crane and Ashton both had 2 points each as well. Yeah, that's really good to see. Holmstrom's had multiple points, though, in 4 straight games. Because now, in the last 4, I think he's got like 9 points in 4 games, which is insane. So, Holmstrom is definitely gelling on that second pairing rather than the first pairing, which is kind of surprising. But Ragnarsson easily the first star, Holmstrom the second star, Ashton the third star. All right. Well, we've scored 7 goals in back-to-back games now, which is rather impressive. And like I said, that game we might have started to find our defensive game a little bit more. So we are definitely going to keep Irwin in net, I think, for this next game. He has definitely been the better of the 2 goalies so far. Obviously, we could go to Bergenheim at any point, but we are definitely going to keep with Irwin in net for this game and see if we could take out the Habs here. Because obviously, if we lose this game, we will be going to a Game 7. So let's hope we get the same offensive output as we've had in the last 2 games. We don't necessarily need to score 7 goals again, but let's at least score a good chunk of goals so that way they can't come back in these games, because we're definitely the stronger offensive team. They could definitely have games where they play good defensively against us, but we're definitely the stronger offensive team, I'd say, from the regular season. So let's keep the rest of the team the same. It's been a decent last 2 games. Just got to find ways to make sure our defensive play and your goaltending is more consistent. So can we close out the Habs in their building? We head to Game 6, looking to close them out and get ourselves to round 2. Let's see if we could do it. First period, Game 6. 1-0 us. Good start again. Similar to last game, Harris opens the scoring this time. So, yeah, Harris is definitely fitting really well with this team. Near point per game during the regular season, and so far in the playoffs, he's been one of the most consistent players on this team. Obviously, the best has probably been Holmstrom, but I really like that Harris has been providing us that goal scoring, because Crane has had some games where he's been quiet, other games he's picked up points. So Harris has definitely filled that void and also given us more of a goal scoring chance. Anyway, shots are 14-6 in favor of us, so pretty dominant period. We are only up by a goal, so we got to be careful here. Let's find a way to get an insurance marker if we can in the second period. Second period. 2-1 us. Okay, they do get on the board. It was Combs late, but Harris scored again early on. So Harris has both of our goals again. Shots are 27-12. We are outplaying them, but Smithson is definitely holding his team in the game, which is not ideal. So Can we find a way to get an insurance marker and lock this game down and lock the series down? Third period underway, please, boys. Can Harris maybe get a hat-trick goal? That'd be kind of nice, because Harris has definitely been really good for his age. Ziuk ties the game up at 2. That's not great. That's not great. Penalty kill. Oh my goodness. Leeson makes it 3-2. That's not good. Power play for us. Can we tie it? No, we can't. Come on, boys. There's still time left to tie this game up. We literally are out shooting them, and they're going to come back from behind. We were up 2-0. I did not feel safe. And unfortunately, we are going to lose this one 3-2, which means we are going to a Game 7 against a team that probably we shouldn't be going to a Game 7 against, but it's been a very back-and-forth series, and unfortunately, we can't close them out in their building. So Harris from Ragnarsson and Schaefer and Harris from Ragnarsson. So Ragnarsson literally has points on our 6 of our last goals, which is insane. But what I need from this team is a victory coming up in Game 7, because this could be the last NHL game for Harris in his career. Obviously, Harris isn't a hugely important player to the series just because this is his only year with us right now. But this could be the last NHL game for Crane, for Houghton, for maybe Mäkinen even. So a lot relies on this game. Obviously, if we lose this game, our window of opportunity to win a Stanley Cup might be fully closed. It may be good again next season if guys come back, but this could be our last chance. So we got to find a way to win and close out the Habs. We will start Irwin, I think, again next game, even though he did just lose. But we will have to maybe make some more adjustments. Maybe. It's tough to say, as we've had some really good games, obviously, with these lines. The first line's been doing really good work, especially Ragnarsson. Second line's been decent. Third line, I think Kazanov hasn't done too much. He's got 2 assists so far. Trying to think if there's anything else I could really change up about our lines. I don't think there really is, to be honest. Who's scratched at the moment? Grollo and Menino. Grollo's an offensive player. Same with Menino. Probably prefer those guys to be scratched still. Defensively, this pairing's been very good. Schaefer and Smith haven't been as good. Smith only has 1 assist so far. Houghton has been actually really quiet too. Actually, no, 3 assists is pretty good for his age. But let's go Houghton in with Schaefer, just because this could be Houghton's last game. Smith will play with Ekblad. I just don't want to split up these two because I think these two have been really good so far. But we will get Houghton into that top line and see if that helps things a bit. Obviously, it's a bit of a risk giving Houghton more ice time because he's an offensive defenseman, but obviously we need to maybe make some adjustments. Also, looking at the playoff point leaders right now, you can see that Ragnarsson and Holmstrom have been fantastic, and Harris as well. Those 3 guys have definitely been our best players, so we need everybody else that hasn't stepped up to step up here in Game 7. We shouldn't be going to a Game 7 against a bad team like Montreal, but we knew it was kind of going to be coming anyways because we smelled some cheese, but let's see what happens. We'll probably jump into this game regardless in the third period just because this could be the last time we see guys like Crane and stuff out there. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Game 7. I don't really want to see this already. I'm nervous just because of the pending retirements, and also because, like I said, if we lose this game, that window might be closed. It might be closed. So here we go. Real-time simulation. Game 7 on home ice. Can we find a way to win this game and get ourselves to the second round? Come on, guys. Do it for the old guys on this team. Hopefully the young guys step up or something like that. And, of course, we give up the game's first goal, but we answer right back, which is huge. Blue just scored for them. Harris scores for us. So Harris, the 39-year-old, is continuously acting like he's like an 18-year-old with this team. He's been scoring a ton of goals. Like, I think he's got 7 goals in this first round alone. And then they answer back. Cullen makes it 2-1 for the Habs. And that will be the score after 20 minutes. Maybe I should have went to Bergenheim this game, but it's really tough to say with the 2 goalies. They're both literally listed as backups, so I kind of flip-flopped a lot in the series, but not too good. 2 goals against on 9 shots. We only have 1 on 11. This second period is going to be crucial if we want to find a way to win this game. Can we find a way to tie this game back up again? Second period underway. Come on, boys. Please give me an answer. Come on, Crane. I know you have goals in you, my man. Same with Harris. I know you have more in you. You've scored a lot for us so far. Don't expect that much more, but Maybe Holmstrom has some goals in him because he's been a great OFD so far. Maybe Houghton has a goal. Somebody on this team has to have a goal, right? The answer is not yet. We are going to be watching this entire third period just because we are only 36 minutes into this recording. And like I said, this is a very crucial game. Shots are 18-17. We're going to jump on in. And since it's potentially Crane and Houghton, Harris's last game, Makinen's last game, we might as well watch an entire third period and see if we can find a way to tie this game up and win it somehow. So let's jump on in and see if this team has it in them, or are we going to be disappointed and knocked out in the first round? I don't think we've been knocked out in the first round in quite some time, so hopefully we can find a way to win here. I don't know why our defensive rating is only a 71, though. I feel like our defensive core is a lot better than that, but anyways, big third period here. We got Ashton versus Franson on the face-off to start the third. Can we find a way to tie this game up? Franson walks in for Montreal, and he trips down Houghton. We're going to a power play 30 seconds into the third. Well, that's a decent way to start off the third period. They take an offensive zone face-off, or penalty, as they were going for that loose puck, and then Houghton just goes down. Maybe he dove, maybe he didn't. That's a big, big penalty there, taken by the Habs. So let's see if we can get our power play to work here. Holmstrom is almost leading this team in points, which is insane. Here we go. Ragnarsson at the dot. He's not really a face-off guy, but he's taking the face-off, doesn't win it. Von Arx with it for the Habs. He does not get it out, but now he does. Holmstrom with the puck. The OFD Holmstrom walking in with it. Lost it. McArdle poked it away, and McArdle will dump it. Come on, guys. We got to make sure we get some zone opportunities. We need shots on goal. We can't just be like having our power play do nothing here. Cullen steals it away from Harris, but Harris answers back by taking it away. Here is Crane. Crane can't get the pass across. And so far, this power play has been pretty bad. Holmstrom chasing after Cullen and can't get it away fully. Now, oh my goodness, they're really playing good defensively, the Habs, which is not ideal. Here is Crane. Captain Crane can't get by. We literally have not generated a shot on goal, but that might be a delayed game. Is that a delayed game? I don't know that, or maybe it was into the bench. Nope, that was into the bench. Damn, that looked close to being a delayed game. I don't have any volume on right now, so I did not hear a whistle or not, but I was hoping that would have been a delayed game penalty because that would have been nice to give us a 5-on-3. Damn. Anyways, Wong will clear it. And our first minute of our power play is already done. And we have not taken a single shot yet. So, we need a shot, boys. Trotter to Kazanov. Here he comes. Kazanov finds Trotter. Trotter walks in with it. Lost it. Got it back again. Wong will take it and clear it. And Sawchuk now has it short-handed. We can't get him. Sawchuk throws it across. And we took a penalty. It's a slashing call to Kari Makinen. Oh, my goodness. The veteran takes a penalty here. In the offensive zone as well, as he slashed Wong. I didn't even see that. That's a bit of a weak penalty. That's a bit of a weak penalty. I didn't even really see the slash. Like, I saw him go for the stick lift, but I don't even think he hit him. Anyways, 4-on-4 for a little bit, but this is not good because I don't want to be going to the penalty kill in the third period, really, but we are going to have to. And we don't even have a single shot at all on that power play, which is insane. Anyways, Crane with the puck. Here he goes. Lost to Dalbrecht. Yeah, we do not look good whatsoever since we jumped into this game. We look very slow. It's probably because we're an old team, but here comes Crane. Crane lost it, and once again, the Habs have possession of the puck, and now they have a minute of power play time. We need to kill this off, boys. Leeson with a bomb, and that's turned away. Nice save there by Irwin. Come on, guys, get it out. Get it out. Albrecht over to Wong. Wong to Anthony. Big save there by Irwin in the slot as the Habs start to generate some momentum. Come on, guys. We cannot allow them to get full pressure here. This is a massive, massive penalty kill for this game and for this entire series potentially. After we kill this off, though, we need to find ways to get shots on net. We just need to. Kazanov will take the puck and he will clear it. Nicely done. Nicely done. Nice play there by Ashton, the forecheck. Here comes the Habs with the puck. Addison will carry it in. Nice play off by Kazanov, and he will clear it. It's nice having Kazanov out there, considering he's a good two-way forward. Makes some really smart plays with intercepting those pucks. Here is Sawchuk, who's a little bit tired for the Habs. He skates in with the puck, holds up, finds Artukin, over to Addison, a shot, nice shot block by Holmstrom. And Kazanov can't clear it, but Schaefer's got it now. He can't clear it either. Can we get it out? The answer is just barely. Just barely. They almost have full pressure. Combs walks in with it. Can't shoot it. Schaefer makes a great defensive play. Here comes Kazanov with some room, but he'll just dump it in. And we do at least kill off that penalty as well. McArdle can't kick it by. It's out front, and Smithson will be forced to freeze it with 15 minutes to go in this third. Whew. This is nerve-wracking, man. Like I said, if we end up losing guys to retirements after this game, it's going to really suck. Hopefully this third period doesn't take a lot of time, but if we find a way to win it, I don't really care if it's a long episode because of it. Mäkinen at the draw, can't win it. Shot towards the net, doesn't get to the net. Anthony with the puck now for Montreal, still with it. Anthony throws it over, got it back off Mäkinen's stick, but we make a good defensive play to steal it back. They still almost have pressure, so we got to be careful not to give them too many chances here. Howden with the puck, finds Schaefer. Here comes Schaefer. Schaefer throws it over to Dempsey. Dempsey can't even get a shot on goal. We still have no shot here in the third in 7 minutes, and they have a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1. Franson walks in. Big save by Irwin on the backhand as Franson tried to make a move to the backhand. Irwin had none of that, and Irwin's been keeping us in it in this third period because we haven't generated enough offensively here in this third period. We have our fourth line out there against their fourth line. Howes, Lysak, and Hybrid versus Bluegis, Cullen, and Agostini. Agostini throws it to the net. Nice save there. They do have full pressure. We got to get it out, boys. Bluegis throws it to Burrows. Burrows shoots. Big save there from Irwin. And we don't get it out still. Cullen over out front. Nice defensive play. Can we get it out, please? Yes, we can. Oh, my goodness. That was dangerous, that pass across. Here's Lysak. Shoots it. Smithson with a great glove save. So there's our first shot of this third period, and it takes 9 minutes. We need to get more now. Our fourth line getting the first shot of the third period is pretty insane. But, yeah, that was dangerous when they had full pressure. I thought they were going to find a way to get a goal there. All right, here we go. Face off. We have Ashton versus Cullen. So our first line comes out against their fourth line. Can we win it? No, we can't. Albrecht throws it all the way over to Agostini, and the Habs break it out. Agostini dumps it. Holmstrom will chase it. Go on, Holmstrom. Carlton with the puck over to Ashton. Ashton finds Harris. Harris finds Ragnarsson. This is one of our best lines in the playoffs so far. Ragnarsson to Holmstrom. He shoots. Big save with the blocker by their goaltender. Oh my goodness. Come on, guys. We're into the final 10 minutes. We need somebody to step up here. It's good that we've got the last 2 shots on goal, but we need way more than 2 shots in a period. Carlton gets stuck in the boards. The puck goes into Montreal's zone. Here's Ragnarsson picking it up. Ragnarsson finds Holmstrom. He shoots his block. Loose puck in front, and nobody gets to it as they manage to recover. Holmstrom got back in time to make a good defensive play, too. Ashton throws it back to Holmstrom, who's been everywhere. They turn it over. Here comes Combs. Combs can't get it anywhere. Carlton will get board pinned again, and he'll turn it over again. Our third line is out there now. Wong finds McArdle, a shot that might have hit the post. That is dangerous. Another chance for McArdle, that's blocked. We're into the final 6 minutes of play, still down by a goal. Who wants to find a way to tie this one up here, please? Oh my goodness, the way they're passing it around, these Habs are scaring me, but we do get possession of the puck. Here is Trotter. Trotter will dump it in. I don't know why he just did a weird dump like that, but whatever. Come on, guys. Kazanov takes the puck, finds Trotter. Trotter walks in, shoots, but it's blocked or stopped in, and rebound went right back to the net. We have 5 minutes to go. We have generated a couple chances, but we're still definitely not getting good playing time from our boys in this third period. We need to find a way to tie this one up here. We can't just be taking only like 3 or 4 shots a period. We need like 10 plus shots. Mäkinen at the draw again against Franson, and he cannot win it. Come on, guys. Come on. We have 5 minutes left in this third period. We're only down by a goal. Just got to get a lucky break and tie this game up somehow. I don't care how the goal goes in. We need a greasy goal, one that deflects off a body part, something. Defensive zone face-off, Mäkinen versus Franson. So it's our second line versus their first line, basically. And Mäkinen wins that one. Ekblad throws it up. Here is Dempsey. Nelson Dempsey can't get by. Dempsey still battling. Dempsey throws it across. Nice pass. Smith finds Crane. Here is Ekblad. Makinen. Crane. Ekblad. Too many passing. Smith shoots it. That's blocked. We need to be getting shots off faster than that. We can't just be passing it around like the friggin' Globetrotters. Here's Eli Anthony with it. Makes some moves. What the hell is this guy doing? Big save there by Irwin. Did not get phased by all those deeks. They take it back again. Gostad can't get the shot through. Out front, a one-timer, 100-mile-an-hour shot, and that gets blocked. Jesus. Oh my goodness. And we're into the final 2 minutes of the third period. They have full pressure now because our guys are just not playing good defensively. And another big save by Irwin. Oh my goodness. Get it out. Otter Eyes, shots blocked. Look at the defensive effort. A hand pass, and they turned it over, and another big save by Irwin. Oh my goodness. We're definitely losing this game if we're playing like this. Somebody doesn't have a stick, and we are trying to get this puck out of the zone. Holy moly. And yep, I knew it was going to come. This one might have deflected off a broken stick. And this series is probably done. We're probably not going to win a Stanley Cup as Eli Anthony makes it 3-1 Habs. This one, I don't know what the heck that deflected off of, but Irwin could not get it. And that pressure system comes into effect. The Montreal Canadiens are going to show that that President's Trophy thing is a curse. And unfortunately, we're going to be a first-round exit this year. God damn it, man. This game is friggin' annoying sometimes when it comes down to that, man, because this team should be way better than a first-round exit, but they aren't. And we've had no Stanley Cup still up to this point, which is even more depressing. Obviously, we're going to still try and run it back again next year if we have a good enough roster, but we might have to miss the playoffs the last 2 years of this franchise mode or whatever. That's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I don't know what that puck still deflected off of, but I knew we were going to give up a goal because somebody was missing a stick, and we were just not defending whatsoever. We do pull the goaltender. Can we get a goal here? Not yet. Damn, man. Our fans are probably very disappointed again in this team, which makes sense because I'm hella disappointed in this franchise mode, to be honest. And they just missed the empty netter there. Get to that Schaefer. Oh, my goodness. Huge shot block by Houghton. If that's the last thing we see from Houghton, blocking a shot on an empty netter, that's impressive. But, oh my goodness, damn, that was a close chance. If we're only within one still. And unfortunately, we're going to be knocked out in the first round of the playoffs as the Montreal Canadiens somehow beat us despite us being a way better team. I don't understand, man, this game. This game kind of pisses me off sometimes, especially with this series. Like, how have we not won a Stanley Cup? How have we not won a Stanley Cup? We thought this was the year bringing in a guy like Harris. Crane, that might be the last time we see him out there as well. We're definitely going to get some more screenshots of those guys because this could be the last game of their careers. And no Stanley Cup is just going to be disappointing. But I do need to see that last goal that they scored just because I think it would have deflected off something. But I didn't see what. Man, this is depressing. Let's see this goal. So what did this deflect off of? So if we hide this and we remove my face so you guys can see the entire screen. This puck comes out. They have full pressure. Obviously, Harris is missing a stick. Anthony walks in, shoots this. It doesn't even deflect off anything. It just starts twirling. Like, look, this is a normal shot. And then all of a sudden it starts to flip unrealistically. Like a floater shot. And then it just goes like that. I'm pretty sure this didn't deflect off anything. Yeah, it doesn't. That is a really weird puck movement, but whatever. Really, really weird. Anyways, let's go back here. Get some screenshots of our guys that might be retiring here. Just because they're important still to this team. But like I said, Houghton blocked a shot on that empty net in the last shift, so he is a GOAT, but this might be his last, might have been his last NHL game. I don't think I've looked at him really in terms of what he looks like before. I don't think, at least, but let's get a nice little photo of him here. Because obviously, he's probably the best defenseman in the series. And then we already have a screenshot, technically, I think, of Crane. We don't really need to get anybody else. Maybe Makinen, actually, because I don't think I have one of Makinen. I need to get Makinen if possible. I apologize about throwing stuff like this into the episode, but it's important to get screenshots of these guys just because they could be retiring, and we might never get to see them again, which really sucks, man. This is disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I think Mackin was out there for that last goal, too. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there is our other assistant captain. Let's get a nice little screenshot of him, too. I already have one of Crane, so that should be okay, but... how does this team lose in the first round? God damn, man. Their fourth line had most of their points in this one, too. And then their goaltender was good, which didn't happen in a couple of games in the series. We scored 7 goals 2 times. Yeah, we still lost because our defensive play was inconsistent. That's very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And like I said, guys like Holmstrom are fantastic in that round, yet we still lose. Well, let's take a look at some player stats, find out who wins the Stanley Cup, and then see who retires in this episode, because we might as well rip off another Band-Aid while we have the opportunity to. But I think that might be it for a couple guys, and I don't think this team's going to win a Stanley Cup at this point now. But who knows, maybe next year we'll have some guys back again, but the main guys probably won't be back. But if we look at forwards type of stats here, you can see how good our playoff run was. Ragnarsson had 11 points in 7 games. And obviously 5 of those came in 1 game. But very big year for Ragnarsson. And I'm glad we locked him up in the offseason. Harris had 9 points, 7 goals in 7 games. He's likely going to retire, I would assume. And that really sucks because we brought him in trying to help him win a Stanley Cup. But he retires. And... yeah, he's never going to maybe get that chance. Ashton on 5 points was good. Crane on 5 points was okay at times, -3. But this might be the end of Crane. He's down to an 82, which really sucks. When did we draft Crane? I think it was a steal, if I remember right. But we'll take a look at that if he does retire. Trotter, 3 points. Couple guys on 2 points. I think we needed more out of certain players. Like guys like Dempsey and Makinen didn't really score enough. Kazanov didn't score enough, but a couple guys did really well. Pollock, who had a good playoffs last year, did not do good whatsoever. So we are relying on too few players, I feel like, in terms of our offense. And then from a defensive standpoint, Holmstrom had 10 points in 7 games. So Holmstrom did really well. Everybody else was okay, but we needed maybe a little bit more. And then from a goaltending perspective, the goaltending was inconsistent. Irwin was probably the better of the two, but poor Bergenheim, after a great rookie regular season, just could not figure it out in the playoffs. So, anyways, there's the stats. But if you look at goals for our goals in that series, Harris was a goal a game. We had Ragnarsson and Holmstrom out for 4 goals. Ashton had 3. Crane had 2. 3 guys had 1. And then nobody else had a single goal. So, definitely the depth scoring wasn't on pace to be that good. So we needed more out of a lot of guys, I guess, on this team. We could have called up some players, but we got to a Game 7, so I didn't expect it to be necessary at that point. But now we got to find out who wins the Stanley Cup. I'm assuming the Montreal Canadiens are going to get onto the Stanley Cup finals somehow just because they knocked us out. That's just my guess, but I don't know if they'll win the Stanley Cup this year. That's my prediction. But I'm pretty disappointed with that season. Pretty disappointed. But I'm kind of numb to the pain now of us losing in the playoffs because it's happened so often. So who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year? The Edmonton Oilers. Well, that puts more salt to the wound before the retirements, because that means Nicholas got dealt and went on to win the Stanley Cup with the Oilers. And it seems like as soon as players leave this team, they automatically find ways to win Stanley Cups. And Nicholas is the latest one on that list, as Edmonton will win the Stanley Cup over the Detroit Red Wings. So Montreal got to the conference finals, but Edmonton winning the cup is just... I don't understand it, man. I literally, like I said, we've had like Nicholas before. We've had a lot of good players before, and they all go on to win cups with other teams. I don't think there's anybody else that was on this Oilers team that won a cup with them that was on our roster, but yeah, that is disappointing. Disappointing. Yeah, nobody else there. But you look at the goaltender, and likely your Conn Smythe winner in the playoffs too, probably Esteban Nicholas. At .942 save percentage and a below 2 goals against average. He had a really good regular season too. Might have won a Vezina. Had a fantastic playoffs, of course, after we dealt him away. Maybe we shouldn't have traded him in the offseason. We had the cap space to hold on to him, but we weren't too sure. Oh, my God. I'm disappointed, man. Very disappointed. Let's take a look at some awards. So Edmonton wins the Stanley Cup. Yeah, we won the President's Trophy, so woohoo for that. That's our second in 5 years. No Stanley Cup still. Edmonton and Detroit Cup Finals. In terms of individual awards, Jyrki Hakkarainen wins the Art Ross. Lyon won the Hart, so a couple Blue Jackets. Lieb wins the Norris for Detroit. Lyon wins the Lady Byng. Combs won the Calder for Montreal. Rensfeldt wins the Conn Smythe, so they didn't even give it to Nicholas, but I think Nicholas probably deserved it more based on his stat line. Bergenheim won the Vezina. Are you serious? So they didn't even give Nicholas the Vezina, but Bergenheim wins the Vezina as a rookie, but did not win the Calder. That's absolutely insane. But Bergenheim winning the Vezina in his first season, bravo for that, but in his playoffs were absolutely atrocious. He did also win in Jennings as expected, but Lindbergh the Masterton, Melikar, Carolina's coach the Adams, Ritchie the Selke, and finally Hakkarainen the Lindsay and the Richard. AHL-wise, any AHL awards for our AHL team? The answer is no. So I'm glad that we won some awards with Bergenheim, but I feel bad that we basically got rid of Nicholas. We had a lot of goalies, so it makes sense for us to get rid of Nicholas, but that's crazy. And like I said, Bergenheim he's literally a young rookie, but he's already won a Vezina. So shout out to Bergenheim. He'll probably be our starter again next year with Irwin, but we definitely don't know what's to come with him in the playoffs and all that. It looks like our young goalies are good in the regular season, but playoffs not so much. All right, well, that's that. Next comes the Band-Aid part. Do we have any retirements in 2047? Is this the last episode that involves Crane, Houghton, Makinen, Harris? Let's see and find out, because we might as well find out in this episode. But first and foremost, the Ottawa Senators have the first overall selection, followed by LA, Seattle, Anaheim, and Vancouver. And now the moment of truth. Did we lose some of our big boys to retirement? We are actually going to probably do this in a slow reveal portion, so let me go to review retired players, close my eyes, and squint as hard as possible so I don't see anything. Changes over to goalies. Perfect. And let's see who retired. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we're going to hide my face because there's going to probably be some former players here. Alexander Solovyov was a free agent in this last season, but he has finally retired. Our former goaltender, maybe a Channel Hall of Famer. Tough to really say. Obviously not the strongest goaltender I've ever had in the world, but yeah, Solovyov, we brought him back a couple years ago. And he was really good in the playoffs, but we didn't run him, and maybe that was the bad thing for us to do. But he played briefly in San Jose as well. Fantastic goaltender, 489 career wins, 51 shutouts. And like I said, I think he was even better in the playoffs, if I remember right? Yeah, 916 career playoff performance. So, yeah, Solovyov, probably one of the best goalies I've had that's never won a cup, but he will retire without one. He did get us to finals a couple times, but just could not get it done. And yeah, 2 Vezinas for his name. So shout out to Alexander Solovyov. That's a tough one to see retire, but he wasn't on our roster at least. But he was still a legend with this team. Aside from that, any other former goalies? The answer is no. Now comes the big one, or the first big one, I should say. Defense. Did Olli Houghton call it quits with no Stanley Cup? Yes, he did. Oh my God. Well, I don't know if we should go all 25 years in this series at this point. That's a sad one. Houghton was originally drafted by the Blackhawks back in the 6th round of 2028. We traded Ryan Pollock, I think, to get him, and some other picks and stuff like that. But he is a fan favorite on this team, and he'll retire after 48 points this season. Didn't do too much for us in the playoffs this year, but what a career. What a career. Over 1,000 points as a D-man, plus 299. Barely any penalty minutes, too, actually. I didn't even realize that, but a fantastic OFD. Absolutely fantastic OFD, and I'm glad we stole him from Chicago, but it does suck that he'll never get a Stanley Cup, because he was absolutely brilliant during the regular season. Like, we'll take a look at his awards in a brief moment. But yeah, 166 points in 206 playoff games. Like I said, he's been into a lot of finals, never got that cup. We did just take a screenshot of him, so at least we have that to remember him. But this is definitely a tough one, a very tough one to swallow. And as I said, very good during the regular season. 6 Norris trophies for Olli Houtonen. So salute to the Finnish GOAT, or one of the Finnish GOATs. But yeah, he has retired. That sucks. And speaking of other former players, though, actually now for that matter, Antti Salmelainen has retired with the New Jersey Devils. Former first-round pick of ours. We traded him to Colorado. Maybe that was one of the first mistakes we made as a GM. I'm not too sure, but yeah, solid career for this guy. He was drafted the late first round of 2029, so shout out to Salmelainen, but he's definitely no Olli Houtonen. Aside from that, anybody else on defense that used to play with us that I remember? Oh, there's Cristiano Pecker. He briefly got some playing time here, but he retires as a Pittsburgh Penguin. And he also played with the Devils, the Rangers, Montreal, and us. So he was an Eastern Conference type player, never played in the West, but I'm pretty sure he got a Stanley Cup after he left us. No, he didn't. Did what is it, Salmelainen get a cup after leaving us? No, he didn't. Okay, so there's a couple people that didn't actually win cups after left us, but definitely still tough to swallow with a lot of those guys that did win cups after leaving us. There's another guy in Zach Wilkinson. We briefly had this guy. He's not a super important player, but we briefly had him a number of years ago because I think we traded for him. I think he was in Seattle. Or no, he was undrafted and we gave him a chance. That's right. I remember that now. So he retires. That's not our former Kasivi. That's a different one. And that is it in terms of defensemen. So once again, salute to Olli Houtonen. Right wing side, there's another former player. 998 career points. Teemu Jääskeläinen has called it quits. Wow. Only played 4 games this past year. But yeah, after he left us, he definitely started... we kind of gave him a career rejuvenation. Because in Pittsburgh, he wasn't doing too well. We gave him a chance here. Became a 42 goal scorer. And then he after left us and became really good. He did score the cup winning goal against us, I believe, one year. So I'll never let him down about that. But still, he was really good for a little bit. And like I said, we at least gave him a chance to rejuvenate his career after Pittsburgh was definitely not doing good with him. So shout out to him. Aside from that, anybody else I recognize here? Nope. Left wing side of things, did we lose Crane the same year we lost Houghton? And if we did, I'm going to be sad. No, we did not. Crane has not retired. Okay, so that's kind of surprising. Crane's a pending free agent. Houghton was technically signed for 2 years last offseason, but his contract comes off the books now. But Crane has not retired, and that is huge. Also, I guess technically Harris didn't retire too because he was not on the right wing side of things. So Harris will be back at the age of 40, which is kind of insane potentially. I mean, we could hold on to him, depends on his asking price, but Crane not retiring and him not retiring, that's kind of surprising. But losing Houghton, definitely a little bit of a blow, but at least it's something we could kind of replace because we do have young defensemen anyways, so kind of sucks though. Let's see, who else retired? Zetterberg, I don't know if I know this guy. I don't think so. Any names? Oh, Joshua Legg. He was the guy that was drafted by us in the 5th round. After he left us, played time in Pittsburgh and Florida. And he definitely found himself with some other teams, but definitely a guy that we could have maybe held on to maybe a little bit longer. And that is it on the left wing side of things, I think. In terms of centers, the big one is Tate Wall that retires. Kaminsky retires. He used to play with us briefly. Not a super important player, like I said, but definitely a guy that we kind of gave a chance to early on, and then he became a good player in the NHL. Aside from that, I don't think there's anybody else here. Wait, Akeem Kopitz, right? Yeah, did he play with us? No. I do remember this guy from a playoff round, though. Don't know why I recognize his name. I feel like we definitely played him or something. All right, so those are the retirements. So, obviously, we got to do our salute to the one guy that retired from our team. We did lose Solovyov, technically too, even though he was a free agent. But the one guy we got to shout out here, Olli Houtonen. So if you could salute him, do it now. But this one hurts. One of the best defensemen I've ever had in a franchise mode, easily. So salute to the Finnish defensive GOAT. And we wish him the best of luck in retirement. Damn, man. So we do lose one player after that deep run that we had, or not deep run, that short run, I should say, that deep run that we had a few years ago, I guess. I don't really know, but we'll lose an AHL coach. We also, no, we don't lose anybody else, so just an AHL coach, okay? It's not too bad for coaches. Final few things we got to take a look at: contract situation, progress reports, and draft class briefly. I'm going to try and go through this fast just because this episode's kind of running longer than anticipated now because those retirements and all that, but Crane will be back again for another season. He's dropped down to exact top 9. We will have to re-sign him. Hopefully he's not too expensive. And like I said, Harris did not retire either, which is an interesting one. Still a great goal scorer, but he will likely be on decline. Hopefully those guys aren't going to cost us too much. Aside from that, a lot of other guys on like kind of statistical growth or just some actual natural growth, which is good. So there is all of that. In terms of in the system, we are getting some growth from our young goalie prospects, which is good. Defensively, like at this stage, I don't really care too much about the growth, but if there's anybody that might make the NHL, it might be good. We also have guys, like I said, that should maybe be in the NHL next year, like DeKaiser and all that. So Gerard's very close as well. I don't know if he was last year, but yeah, he's looking pretty close. Blanchard's still unsigned because he's not AHL eligible. Markstrom should probably play. Centers, Jensen's up to a 76. How was his rookie season? 45 points, 2 in the playoffs. Okay. Yeah, all right. So let's take a look at the contract situation. Then we'll take a look at the draft class briefly. But I don't know how much money we're going to have to spend, but in terms of all expiring, we have 3 big UFAs. Carlton's probably the biggest of the 3 just because our defense would be kind of weak if we lose him, but he's going to be quite expensive. We probably could lose him, but we probably don't know for sure if we can or not. But we might be able to drop him down in terms of his asking price to around 9.6. Crane, who is also going to be likely retiring soon, still wants a lot of money and multiple years, which is not ideal right now. Obviously, this could drop off by the re-sign stage, but right now that's not great. 7.8 for a year is probably not ideal, but if we want him to retire here, we probably have to do it. And then there's Harris. He doesn't want that much. All right, so we might as well hold on to Harris probably at an asking price like this. Like, I don't think 5.3 is that bad. Obviously, he's going to drop off still, but he's a really good player. And if we play him in the top 6 next to a playmaker or something, he still should do good. Aside from that, like, we have some RFAs. We have a couple other UFAs like Howes and all that. Lucky for us, a lot of our team is RFAs, it looks like. And then in terms of the goaltending, Bergenheim's the only RFA, just won a Vezina in his rookie season. Doesn't really want too much. We give him what he is asking for. He'll be here right till the end of the series, basically. So that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, final thing. Let's take a look at the picks we have this year and the draft class briefly. But at this stage, the draft class probably really doesn't matter. We do have 2 first-round picks because we did trade Nicholas to get a first. And, of course, the year we traded Nicholas for a first, he ends up winning a cup. So that pick is dead last in the first round. So we do have 2 first-rounders, 2 third-rounders, and a 6th and a 7th. Not really a whole lot to go off of, but 2 late first-rounders may be able to get ourselves something decent. This year's draft is a franchise player. Not that we're going to be getting first overall this year, but let's take a look at the last few picks of the first round, see if there's anything good in it. Raphael, Rupert, these guys aren't scouted at all. Oh boy. Medium top 6 in Sergei Jas, or was it Buckley? Yeah, it's Buckley. Buckley looks okay, 2 years out. He might be not bad. There's a lowly sniper and Ryder Ranford, but he's 3 years out, so he won't make it on time. There is also William Gorin, medium 6. Is there any decent steals for later rounds? Any decent steals? I apologize about this episode being long, but no Storp. Maybe a little late, no guarantees. Well, the draft class doesn't look super great on paper. Our team is dwindling. We just lost Houghton into retirement. We lost in the first round of the playoffs. A little bit of a miserable episode, but anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our New York Islanders franchise mode. So next episode, I mean, we got to get through it, I guess, another full season or something like that. So we might as well get through some of the offseason in the next episode. But this series is probably going from playoff chances to probably starting to dwindle. Like, we did just win the President's Trophy, which is good, but obviously being a first-round exit, I feel like we're not due for any hugely good playoff runs unless we bring in a good free agent or something like that. And I honestly don't know how much cap space we're going to have. So I think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.